guest tonight is a very funny actor and comedian you know from his work in Community, The Hangover, Crazy Rich Asians, and K-pop Demon Hunters. He co-hosts the new game show 99 to Beat, which airs Wednesday nights on Fox and streams the next day on Hulu. Please welcome back to the show American Red Ken Jeong, everybody! You always are a man with a lot going on.
Yes, sir. A lot going on.
But I'm very excited about this K-pop Demon Hunters thing.
Yes.
I mean,
oh, thank you guys.
I mean, it's really something.
Yeah.
I heard about it from parents who showed it to their kids before I showed it to mine.
Yeah.
And then I showed my kids this movie one time. I wasn't even in the room for it. Like, they were watching it. And then they want to listen to the soundtrack all the time. They, learned the songs from one viewing.
Wow.
It's like, that's how good the music is, and obviously the story as well, and it's super funny, but it must be so cool to be in something like that.
Yeah, it's just beyond, because it's now, not only the biggest movie, and that's my character,
Dude, looks
Bobby.
just like you.
I look just like me. It's exactly like me now. And the great thing about it, just like all things that hit the zeitgeist, you never know. You just never know that it's just one of those things. And you've done animation, and when you go in a voiceover booth, I'm only there for a day or two, and you just kind of forget about it after a while. So shout out to Maggie and Chris, the filmmakers, the directors, who put 7 long years not only to the animation and storytelling and the voiceover casting, but the music.
Yeah.
They were basically, I know, it's like Quentin Tarantino and Quincy Jones at the same time or something like that, if they were Korean.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the amount of work they did for one of the songs, Golden, which I think is still, thank you. I still think it's #1 on the Billboard charts, and it's but they made sure, they would give meticulous notes, making sure that the singer, EJ, would hit 3 octaves in that song.
And again, it looks beautiful. Yeah. It's so unique. It's so cool. But the funniest thing, especially when you say it took 7 years, as a parent, when you hear the title, you think somebody came up with it last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, there's this new movie, K-pop Demon Hunter. And all this trash they come up with. And then you're like, oh my God, no, it's this absolute labor of love.
Absolutely.
And they were very wise to put you in it. Because
so
look,
grateful.
you were a man of many accomplishments, including now you have your own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, I was on the phone trying to...
This is, by the way, when they...
I'm too desperate.
This is when they developed the Walk of Fame, their dream was stars would do this.
Can we have an actor desperate enough just to walk and not stand and lie down on and kiss the star?
You had one of our dear friends, Joel McHale, spoke for you.
That's very kind.
Co-star from Community.
Yes.
You guys have worked together on Animal Control now.
Yes.
How did Joel perform at the ceremony?
We were talking about this earlier. He is actually, you get past the exterior, the snarkiness, the sarcasm.
There's a lot
to process. The hair.
Yeah.
In the mediocrity, I can say that.
Yeah.
And
whatever these glasses are,
and
you got to get by those glasses.
That he got the Sunglass Hut that day, used, of course.
Right.
And he is the nicest.
He truly is.
Person.
He really is.
I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Which would shock the hell out of everybody, because when we're on set, just like you are with your friends, you'll do bits and you just zing and roast each other, but during the pandemic, we'd be on the phone just talking like schoolgirls, for 4 hours. So what do you think? What do you think? Literally. And then both of our wives guys, just get a room already. and so it's one of those deals where we did Community for 6 years, and we become even closer afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have that with SNL.
Well, I think anytime you realize, it's that moment where you realize you're still hanging out with them, you're like, oh, I actually like you like you.
Yes.
I don't showbiz like you. I like you like you.
Yeah, while we're doing Community, we just thought we showbiz like each other.
And then you're like, we're actual friends.
We're actual friends.
And it's really nice when you can admit it. You're like, I just thought we were pretending. You did some dramatic work recent.
Yeah, with Joe McHale, because he's not funny. Yeah. That's right.
You
That's
did
right.
The Accused, an episode called of a show called Accused.
Yes.
And how did you enjoy dramatic acting? Because a lot of people,
Yeah. Everyone says like comedy is harder than drama.
Yeah.
No, drama is harder.
Oh, you're taking
than
team
comedy.
drama.
I'm taking team drama.
Okay.
It was one of the most fulfilling yet most challenging things I've ever done. It was actually directed by Michael Chiklis.
The best.
Star
The
of The
Shield.
Shield. He's in the movie
Yep,
right
the
now
best.
called The Senior.
Yep.
Amazing. And to be directed by him, it was actually my opportunity to do almost like a play. It really was just an acting exercise to fit in this dramatic anthology series of a man accused of second-degree murder. But the character was very similar to how I am in real life, just like, just kind of wholesome image, clean living, but then this dark side, and you had to really open up.
So, yeah, we got to
And
see
I'm
the
like,
real Ken.
Yeah, real Ken. I cover up with jokes like, this is hard. And I'm like, do I really have to do this? And so, and it was really one of my favorite things I've ever done, because
great.
just he really allowed me to be more vulnerable and be incredibly honest and with what I do. And I tell you, it's one of my favorite experiences I've ever had.
That's fantastic. I got a lot more to ask you about. We'll be right back with more from Ken Jeong, everybody.
All right, there are 20 pairs left. Look at King David and Leandra.
Leandra getting it. How about Seth just on his back taking it? My heartstrings are pulling for James and Arvin.
You got it.
Come on, boys.
That's the right move, James.
She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me box, she says I'm Mr. Rowe.
We're here with Ken Jeong. That was a clip from 99 to Beat, and I was gonna ask you to explain it, but I think we all know what's going on. I think it's obvious. It's like that old thing. So this is a game show, and
Yes.
I need you to tell us what in the world.
It is 100 contestants.
Okay.
That they play a series of kind of DIY, seemingly simple games, and the whole objective is to not be the best, not finish first. It's just don't finish last, because each game you eliminate a number of people. Sometimes it's one people. Sometimes it could be a team of multiple people. And ultimately, the person left standing wins $1 million.
So it's no small thing.
It's not a small thing. And initially, we, including myself, contestants were under the impression it was only for $100,000, still great money. And then when me and Erin Andrews, my amazing co-host,
Fantastic.
star, genius broadcaster,
Yeah.
she's the real star of the show. She really is. Just because Erin, because she's the best NFL sideline reporter in history, she eventized this. She made it like March Madness. She
great.
eventized the whole thing. And when me and Erin announced that this is for $1 million, it was one of the most genuine moments I've seen, in a game show where everyone's hooting and hollering. You go through all the spectrum and the rainbow of emotions from hooting and hollering, high-fiving, and then just this kind of sudden silence, and then just tears, and people are just like, it's so emotional. And then I was worried that having that much money, people would be so cutthroat and backstabby, and it was the exact opposite. People came out there, everyone, multiple contestants have told me it's one of the best experiences of their lives.
That's really great.
I feel like that brought out the humanity of that, which was incredibly kind of encouraging,
That's such a nice thing to hear. And they asked me to announce to you tonight the way they managed to go from $100,000 to $1 million is they're going to take it out of your salary.
Oh.
Do you still feel that thing about that humanity thing still? You want to talk more about the humanity part? Do you need a minute? Do you need
I know it sounds like you're doing a bit, but I think this interview's over. I can't talk in my talk show voice right now.
Oh, you have a
I have a talk show. This is my talk show voice.
Oh, wow.
And then when it hits my paycheck, when you tell the truth, this is what Chiklis taught me. Can we talk offline for a second?
But is it true that your first, in college you did do drama?
Yes. Actually, I took my first acting class at Duke, where I went to undergrad, and it was the first thing I did, because it really just spelled out what I was going to do in my future, because I did a one-act play with Annabeth Gish. I don't know if you know who she is.
Fantastic actor.
Fantastic
Yes.
actor, starring Mystic Pizza,
Yep.
and she was in the X-Files, and she was already a star when she went to Duke. And I was playing her, again, this is a college play, so, you know, limited casting. I play her, like, drug addict ex-boyfriend. She's like 5'11". I'm 5'-1". And
She's like, look what the drugs did to you.
it made me shorter. And scene. So I just went to a formal, and when I come out, a lot of the talk shows I do, you know, just 4 or 5 Michael Jackson moves. I do like the kick, this, and then there was one thing I was doing, and it was like almost 30 years ago. I'd go like this, just kind of like the like that.
Everybody likes that.
Everyone likes that.
Yeah.
And I did it so fast. I swear to God, this is so true. I've never said this before. I did it so fast, I dislocated my patella. True story. And then I went like this. I went, oh my God. And I'm not kidding. And even then, everyone just knew I was like a comedian. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
let's all do it. Oh my God. That really happened. And then, so long story short, they had to reset my patella. They pushed it back in. I had to wear this very distracting leg brace that was like orange. You know, it was just like everything, like, you know, not a drug-addled guy who's 5'-1" would do. And I'm going like this the whole time.
The whole play you had to wear?
I had to go like that. And she had to act as if, you know, I was this menacing, you know, tortured drug addict. And it was at that very moment she kissed me, I go, I should go into comedy.
Yeah.
I really thought that. I was like,
you should get an Oscar, and I should go into comedy.
I should go in comedy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
It is always so great to see you.
Thanks,
Congrats
brother.
on the new show. Congrats
Thank
on
you, man.
everything.
Thanks, brother.
Ken Jeong, everybody. 99 to be there's Wednesday nights on Fox. Streams the next day on Hulu. Be right back with Louis Partridge, everybody.